Well, I picked a good day to go round there. Weather's atrocious.
The Battle of the Bulge took place during World War II from December the 16th, 1944 to January the 25th, 1945. It was a major German offensive campaign launched by Adolf Hitler's forces against the Allied armies in the Ardennes region of Belgium, Luxembourg and northeastern France. The German goal was to split the Allied forces, capture the Belgian port of Antwerp and force the Allied armies to negotiate a peace treaty. The battle started with a surprise attack in the early morning of the hours of December the 16th, 1944, with the Germans using a combination of infantry, tanks and artillery. The initial German offensive caught the Allies off guard and they quickly advanced, creating a bulge in the Allied lines, thus giving the battle its name. The weather conditions, particularly heavy fog and low cloud cover, initially favoured the Germans as it hampered Allied air support and reconnaissance efforts. Despite initial success, the German offensive began to falter due to the resistance put up by the Allied forces and the logistical challenges and inability to capture key objectives. The American forces, particularly those defending the town of Bastogne, held their ground and withstood intense German attacks. The Allied forces were able to regroup, reinforce and launch a counter-offensive against the German forces. General George S. Patton's Third Army played a significant role in relieving the besieged town of Bastogne, pushing the German forces back. As the battle progressed, the weather improved, which allowed the Allies to regain air superiority and provide crucial support to ground troops. By late 1945, the German offensive had been decisively halted. It was the largest and bloodiest battle fought by the United States during World War II, with heavy casualties on both sides. It also marked a turning point in the war. The battle also showcased the resilience and determination of Allied forces, as well as the strategic failures of the German High Command. The Battle of the Bulge is considered one of the most significant engagements of World War II and is often regarded as the last major offensive on the Western Front.
Good morning. So we've driven across from where we were last night to an air in Malmedy, principally because we've got an vet's appointment tomorrow, but we've also pulled onto an air where we've got some services. So we're going to stay here tonight, do the vet's appointment for Poppy first thing in the morning, and then we're going to find somewhere to eat after that. A bit of a special celebration tomorrow, but more on that to come. We are also quite pleased to be here because the town looks nice. We're going to have a good look round. There is... on this pitch, it's metered electric again, feed the meter with coins. And this time it's 50 cents for 1 kilowatt. So it was double that in Germany. So that's cheaper here. So we're going to make that work for us. And we're going to head out and check out what's happening in Malmedy. Nice night's sleep last night though. But this looks like it'll be all right for a couple of nights. It's a council run air. Nothing fancy, just €7 a night to park for 24 hours. And just sort of does the trick. And we'll see what happens from here. So you might be wondering what the history is around Malmedy. Well, it used to be part of France. Then it was ceded to the Prussian Empire and became part of the Empire of Germany. And then after that, after the First World War, it was, through the League of Nations, was made part of Belgium. So it's moved around quite a bit. And so consequently, obviously, it was occupied by the Germans in the war. It's right in the middle of the Ardennes forest, which was part of battles both at the start of the war and towards its conclusion, the latter being not far from the Battle of the Bulge and the breakout from Germany in 1944 that we talked about when we were at Bastogne. But during that breakout, there was 84 American soldiers were massacred by the Waffen-SS in this village or town. It's one of the biggest atrocities war crimes committed by the Waffen-SS in the Second World War. And obviously, that's among some reasonable comparatives because they did get up to some wicked stuff.
Behind the air is what looks to be an old railway line, and you can walk all the way around the town, and it sort of tends to circumvent it, and you can get off in different places to get you to all the different areas you want to visit. Just over the hill there is a Spa Formula One racing circuit, and if you listen very carefully, you might just be able to hear the cars going round. Now, it's not the Formula One cars, it's a classics race that's been on for the last 3 days. 10-minute walk from the air and you find yourselves in the centre of Malmedy. There's some beautiful buildings to look at. There's plenty of independent shops to have a look round and plenty of places to eat and drink.
Well, that looked quite nice, didn't it?
This tastes fantastic.
Belgian beer.
Belgian beer tastes very, very nice.
Well, you tried German beers, you've tried Polish beers, you've tried Czech beers, you've tried Austrian beers.
Yes.
You tried beers in Munich, which are very special.
The sacrifices I've made for this trip to try these beers.
Bonjour, hello.
Does that do you? Looks nice, doesn't it?
It tastes fantastic. The pepper sauce is wonderful.
Well, that was a nice drive up from Malmedy, about 3 hours. Reasonably congested, but okay. Bit of roadworks, but okay. All the way across to Holland. And we're staying at a place which I'll spell below. And we're right at the side of a marina, and there's only us here. It's a very well equipped air, and it looks like it's going to be pretty good here tonight. We'll suit us for a few hours, and then up in the morning and off towards the boat. But yeah, check this out. There's bays here for over 3.5 tons and bays for 3.5 tons, and you can see out onto the marina. And you can walk along here. And there's a restaurant and bar at the top, although I understand it's closes tonight. Bit of a shame, but yeah, this is a lovely spot. I'll put the What 3 Words reference below as well, so you know where it is, but it looks absolutely gorgeous. You can see there's only us here, and we don't mind that at all.
Short walk from the marina where we're staying, and there's one of the main waterways, and there's information boards, there's cycling routes, there's walking routes, and also just across here, all the information that you need. There's also apparently a bar that will give you really good views over the water, so we're going to go and give that a try.
Well, this is not a bad place for our last beer in Holland. A lovely spot, this, isn't it?
Gorgeous. It's nice to be able to see. It's obviously quite a main waterway because there's some quite big boats going up and down, but industrial boats, not sailing boats, you know, the ones that are transporting, I don't know,
It's like heavy minerals, isn't it?
Heavy stuff, yeah. But the cake and the beer's quite nice as well.
Yeah. It's only you would eat cake and beer. You take the girl out of Yorkshire.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's the taxi boat going back out again. Picked up some more cyclists. Taking them across the water to the other side. It's quite good fun here because we just sat actually, this river's obviously tidal, and we're just watching the tide sweeping up the lagoon, and there was a couple of waves a minute or two ago. I've not seen waves on rivers very often, but just anticipated a bit. But you can see how it's getting a little bit choppier now, caused by the waves coming in from the sea, which is a few miles down the port side. So yeah, it's quite interesting. And we can visibly see the waterline rising.
That was a really good night's sleep last night, very peaceful here, but we always tend to find that at marinas. So to stay here, it was €25 a night. That includes electric, and there's all the facilities here, showers, toilets, chemical emptying, and washing machines as well. So now we're just unhitching taking the electric cable off, filling up with some water, draining down, and making our way to the port, getting ready for the boat back to Blighty. We're now on board the Stena Hollandica and we're halfway across the North Sea. The check-in process was exactly as we expected it to be, basically the reverse of the trip we did on the way out. And if you've not seen that vlog, then we'll put the link in below so you can have a look at that. You're basically straight up to check-in. They check our passports, Poppy's documentation, and pass you the chip scanner so Poppy's microchip can be scanned, and they check it against all her documents. You then drive onto the boat, check in at reception on the boat because you've got a dog, and then you come straight to your pet cabin. This time we've gone for a daytime sailing. Really good. It's about 5.5 hours across the North Sea, and we've chosen an outside cabin. As you can see, we've got a really good porthole so we can see outside. So we're on our way. We arrive in local time about 7:45, and then we'll be making our way to our pub stop for tonight's evening meal. So up to now, we're very happy, and just as importantly, Poppy's very happy as well.
I think I'm on to a new melody. It's not a mix of soul, bad talking, open wounds, heavy breathing and overeating has suddenly left me. Talking to myself after a bottle of wine is like inviting every spirit. Oh, I am you and you are me. How is that not strange? Oh, I don't wanna sit just to sit, but my healer told me your inner world will unfold just like that. It's a fact that we can't be foolish for too long. I think I've written every song. Soon, from here on to the moon, I run to overcome and be done. Oh, a little change. Oh, secrets in the west stick to my body like glue. Oh, what would I?
So after the boat, we moved across to a little pub. We think it's actually in Essex, not Suffolk. I thought it was in Suffolk, but we think it might still be over the border near Colchester, called the Bricklayers Arms at Little Bentley. We thought it was going to be a really good idea. In fact, when we first arrived, we thought we might have made a bad choice because it seems like everybody gets off the boat and goes there.
Yeah.
In fact, all the other vanners were all Dutch.
Yeah, they were, yeah.
But what was brilliant about it was, apart from brilliant welcome, brilliant food, folk music singers, was that if you wanted somebody to get off a boat and find something that was quintessentially British or English as the first experience, that must have been a wow, and you could tell that the Dutch guys were really enjoying it.
Yeah.
I thought it was just something different.
We'll put a picture in here to show you, but there were banjos, I don't know if there were banjos or ukuleles, there were all sorts of different musical instruments that were playing, and they were really, really good.
They got better as the night went on.
But the Bricklayers Arms was a really good find. It's only 10 minutes when you get off the boat.
Yeah.
We did actually ring them about a week before just to ask if it was okay to park. And they do. If you get there before 9, you get choice of the full menu. It's traditional English pub food. But if your boat is late, which obviously can happen on occasion, then they do a reduced menu if you get there after 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
So if they are expecting you, then you're still going to get something to eat.
Yeah, they're really nice people, aren't
Yeah,
they?
they were very good. Yeah.
And that brings us to where we are now, which is a really quite nice little find. It's basically in Suffolk this time. Do you want to say where we are?
Yeah, we're at Butley Village Hall, which is in Butley. It's just sort of through Woodbridge, I guess. And again, this is another camper contact find. The Bricklayers Arms was camper contact find as well. And this is the local villagers behind and around the village hall. You can park your camper van, motorhome. There is some electric hookup. There's all the facilities that you need, chemical emptying, water, etc., etc. And you just book and pay online.
Yeah, I don't think you can. I think you have to book and pay online via bank transfer. I don't think you can just tip up. It's a bit like a community initiative, really. The vans have got to be self-containing and self-supporting, so there's no loose showers, that kind of thing. But there is all the water services that you need, and it's a lovely spot. And we think you'll agree. We've been out today walking with Poppy, and it's been pretty good. And they might say, well, why are you having such a couple of close spots before you go home to Norfolk? Well, it's simply because we're going to a rally tomorrow, Caravan and Motorhome Club rally, down in Suffolk. So we've actually, in a sense, just taken a little bit of time out. Well, last night was at the end of a long day anyway, but today we've just sat somewhere local, been shopping, stocked up on dog food, and got ourselves ready for the next few days, because we're going to spend 3 nights in Suffolk at a rally, which we'll show you. Well, we spent rather a nice few days with some friends who know how to enjoy themselves at this rally. It was Sutton Village Hall, organised by Posh Kits Camping, and it's fair to say there was much frivolity and joviality, singing, dancing and consuming of wine, and it just about finished off an absolutely fantastic trip for us to mark our 30th wedding anniversary. Well, that was an incredible way to finish the tour.
Yes.
Fantastic weekend with friends. Thanks to Posh Cats Camping for organising.
Yeah.
It was something else. The weather was great.
Yeah.
We got one more test, haven't we? We've got to get off the grass.
Yes.
We think we'll be all right. We got on, so hopefully we'll be all right. It hasn't
Thankfully,
rained.
it's not rained this weekend, has it?
No,
So,
absolutely not. So it was a fitting way, really, to finish the tour, because it was a nice bit of chill time, having been sort of across 9 countries, 20 stops.
3 currencies.
Yeah, umpteen.
Couple of 1,000 miles.
Lots of different cities. Probably walked about, or we think we've walked about 200 miles around the cities alone. That's without the rural walking.
Yeah.
So it was nice to have a couple of days to chill.
Yeah.
Hopefully you've enjoyed our videos. There is a whole series. We'll put the link to the group, so you can watch them all back if you haven't. And we're really grateful for all your supportive messages that you've put on Instagram and Twitter and all our social media links. It's meant a lot to us, hasn't it?
It has. It's been nice to see that you've been travelling with us a lot of the time, and that's always important.
If it sounds like we've got sore throats, it's because we were singing a bit last night.
We managed some. We danced for 3 miles last night. The joys of wearing a Fitbit when you're dancing. Yeah.
I sang in the version of the Yorkshire Pub Singer, and you accompanied me, didn't you?
Of course, of course.
Fantastic night, though, really, all in all. Good people. So we're going to go now and try and get some grub on the way home, and then back to home life for a few weeks tomorrow until we've got some exciting things coming up, but we'll follow that up in the next video.
Yeah.
Martin out.
Helen out.